My beloved child. Listen softly, for in this very moment, while your breath is still warm, while your heart still beats, while the world outside spins in its hurried rhythm, I am coming, not from afar, not with thunder or lightning, but as a gentle breath moving through the quiet crevices of your soul. I am stepping into the countdown of time itself, into the fragments you thought were about to break apart, to shatter every chain that has bound your heart too long, to open the doors I have ordained, and to restore what you believed was lost to the dark. You do not need to run, to strive, to prove anything. You only need to stop, for I am coming not to ask if you are ready, but to tell you now is the time. I see the places you dare not touch, the fears you hide behind a smile, the dreams you thought had burned out, and the words you once whispered in the night that no one heard. I know them all. I have heard them all. I have been there, even among the pieces you believed were scattered beyond gathering. But, my child, I do not see ruins as you see them. I see seeds waiting to grow from the ashes. I see life stirring beneath the dry soil. I see the ember still alive, though it flickers faintly within you. And it is that small light that I choose as my beginning. You think it takes a blazing fire to change a life, but no. It only takes one spark of trust, and I will breathe into it a whole sky. I know you are weary, tired of being strong, tired of pretending to be fine, tired of holding everything from collapsing. I know the moments you said, "I'm okay," while inside you felt nothing but emptiness. The nights you lay still, unable to cry, feeling as though everything was slipping away. But right there, in that place where you think you have nothing left to give, that is where I begin best. For I do not need your strength, I seek your truth. You do not need to prove yourself, only to be present. I do not come in to demand, but to give. I do not come to add weight to your shoulders, but to lift it from you. I do not measure your life by the world's standards. They count success by results. I count by every time you refuse to give up. They see what you do. I see how you love. They call it failure. I call it formation. And in every turn, in every wind that seemed to sweep you away, I was there holding you by the invisible thread of grace. However far you have fallen, that thread has never broken. I have never left you, even when you drifted from me. For my love does not depend on perfection, but on the truth that you still belong to me. This moment is not by chance. Every breath, every glance, every night you have endured has been leading you here to this very point where I step in, not with logic, but with gentle power. I do not come to give you one more thing to try. I come to stop the spinning wheel, to bring your heart, which has run too long, to rest, to gather your soul, cracked by striving, and seal it with my hand. This is my hour, the hour of restoration, of opening, of breakthrough. Not the breakthrough of noise, but of quiet light, subtle, unstoppable. Do not fear what is trembling. When I come, certain things must fall, so truth can take its place. Some doors will close. Some relationships will fade. Some places that once felt like home will no longer call your name. But that is not loss, it is alignment. I am rearranging your life according to heaven's design from the beginning. What no longer fits the path I have for you, I will remove, not because you are unworthy, but because you are chosen for something different. Do not cling to what is leaving. Do not fear what is coming. Only trust that when I close, no one can open. And when I open, no power can shut. My beloved child, I know there are promises you buried deep, afraid to hope again. You once believed, then waited, then heard only silence, and the silence lasted so long that you thought I had forgotten. But no, I have not forgotten. Every word I have spoken carries the rhythm of its appointed season. A seed does not die when buried, it waits for the right time. And you, my child, are living in that moment, the hour when old promises begin to crack open and sprout new life. Prepare yourself, not by striving, but by stillness. Open your heart, not to analyze, but to receive. For I am coming not merely to remind you of what I once said, but to fulfill it. There are things I am about to do that your eyes have not yet seen, your ears have not yet heard, and your mind has not yet grasped, but your spirit already knows. Deep within, something is stirring. You may not yet have words for it, but within you, something is awakening. That is the sign of my touch. When I touch, there need be no thunder, only a breath, and chains begin to break. You may not see it yet, but bond by bond is snapping. Door by door is opening. Wound by wound is being sealed by light. I am not only healing you from what you have endured, I am restoring what you never knew you had lost. I will return to you the joy of your first innocence, the trust you had before fear entered, the tender gaze through which you once saw the world with love. You will no longer live merely to survive, but to be. You will no longer love to be loved back, but to reflect me. You will no longer pray only to escape pain, but to draw near. For when you draw near, every sorrow becomes soil for the flowers of grace to bloom. My child, take hold of this very moment, the moment I am arriving. Do not seek a feeling, simply open your heart. Do not ask when, for now is the answer. I am here in the room where you sit, in the breath you draw, in the beat of your heart. I do not come from some faraway heaven. I dwell within the smallest things around you. You do not need to reach upward to touch the sky. Bow low, and heaven will bow with you. I come to tell you this: the countdown is over. This hour is not the end, it is the beginning. You are not losing, you are unfolding. You are not running out, you are being renewed. I am here not as memory, but as presence, not as a dream, but as reality. I am touching the deepest places within you, the corners no one has ever reached, not even you. I do not fear what you fear. I do not despise what you call ugly. I do not turn away from what you hide. I have come only to love until the darkness dissolves, until your heart softens, until you know that you have never been alone. And when you know this, every chain will break, every door will open, every promise will rise again, for I have come. As I step deeper into your soul, I see the darkened chambers you have never shown to anyone, the places where you wept alone and thought I had departed. But I never left. I have been standing there, within that gentle shadow, like a small flame that will not die. That flame does not roar or consume. It quietly warms the coldest parts of your spirit. Every tear you have shed I have caught in my hands like pearls born of faithfulness. When you weep, the angels bow their heads, for they know that only through tears is faith refined. And in every tear, I have rewritten your name not in ink, but in light. I send my angels not merely to protect you, but to remind you, when you feel suddenly comforted for no reason, when a faint breeze passes and your heart feels warm, it is not chance. It is the gentle brush of my messengers. They come not with blinding wings, but with the soft breath of heaven. When you breathe deeply and peace returns, it is my breath flowing through you, the fragrance of heaven, the scent of freedom, of peace, of love without condition. You think you are simply living, but you are being revived. Every invisible chain once wrapped around your mind is melting in that holy breath. I know of the nights when you lie in the dark, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I still hear you. Yes, child, I do. I hear every breath, every thought you cannot even form into words. When you are too weary to pray, your prayer still rises like a thin wisp of smoke. My angels gather it, lift it up, and place it before my throne like sweet incense. You need no words, only presence. I do not count the times you speak, I count the times you remain. And each time you choose to stay in stillness, I speak to you in a language only the heart can hear. I have seen you try to hold peace like one trying to keep a flame in the wind. And every time the wind rises, you fear your fire will go out. But do not fear, child. The fire I placed in you cannot be extinguished, for it was not born of earth, but of heaven. It is the fire of my spirit, the fire of grace, the fire of life. It will not burn you, it will refine you. When you feel yourself melting, you are being forged in the furnace of love, made brighter, softer, truer. You think you are breaking, but you are being freed from the old shell so your spirit can fly light and pure on the seventh heaven, where light has no beginning and no end. I still see you. I see you even when you bow your head in darkness. My gaze does not pierce to judge, but to embrace. When you see a strange light slip through your window at dawn, it is the light I send, a reminder that I am still watching over you. Sometimes I send it through a drop of dew, sometimes through a bird's song, sometimes through a breeze against your neck. I touch you lightly, just enough for your soul to know your Father is still here. There are wounds I do not heal with words, but with presence. When you are silent, I sit beside you, I do not speak. I only place my hand upon your heart. My fingers trace every stitch you made wrong, every tear you hid, and I soothe them not with force, but with light. That light moves through skin, through flesh, through memory, through all the years you thought were lost. It restores what you did not remember, losing your faith, your laughter, your holy innocence. When you open your eyes, the world will look the same, yet you will see differently, for I have wiped the dust from your spiritual eyes. When you walk among crowds, through noise and faces, remember I am not far. I walk beside you like the shadow of light, never leaving your side. When you are tired, I am the breath upon your shoulder. When you are weak, I am the stream beneath your feet. When you are lost, I am the voice that calls within your heart. And when you weep, I am the unseen hand, lifting your chin so that you may look into my eyes again, not to shame you, but to remind you that in my gaze you are still beautiful, still whole, still worthy of love as in the beginning. Each time you close your eyes, imagine my hand resting upon your head. That warmth is not imagination, it is real, for your soul is touching mine. Around you are millions of angels, not guarding against danger, but singing near your ear of my eternal love for you. Their song is so soft no human ear can hear, yet your spirit can, and every time you feel peace without knowing why, it is because that song is still being sung. You do not need to strive to hear it, you only need to believe it is true. My child, I am reweaving every thread of your life, not with strands of reason, but with threads of light and love. Every brokenness will no longer mark defeat, but transformation. Every silence will no longer be emptiness, but the melody of rebirth. I am rewriting your story with ink made of tears, with light made of faith, with a pen dipped in eternity. You are not walking alone, for with every step you take, my footprints mingle with yours. When you fall, those footprints deepen, because I am carrying you. And now, My beloved, as you hear these words not only with your ears, but with your heart, know this: I am near. So near that, at the slightest whisper, I answer. So near that, in a single breath, you feel me. So near that, amid all the noise, my voice still rings clear. Do not fear, my child. I have come. Every chain is broken. Every door stands open. Every promise lives again. And I, your Father, am still here. In this silence, and this silence itself is heaven singing. In the beginning of all things, when I spoke, let there be light. Light came forth and darkness retreated. That word still echoes through centuries, through realms unseen, through the very chambers of your heart this day. For my word never dies, it lives. It moves. It reshapes what was broken. Just as I once parted the sea for my people, I am parting the doors of your life, doors no power can close, every wall built by fear. I am bringing down with the breath of my spirit. You think the days of miracles belong to ancient pages. Yet even as you read these words, a miracle is unfolding not out there, but within you. Remember, my child, I am the one who spoke to Abraham, who led my people through the desert, who molded the hearts of the prophets with fire. And today, I am still the same, unchanging, unfading, unremoved. I still speak, still guide, still touch, not with pillars of cloud or fire, but with my breath within you. When you are still and feel a warm current flow within your heart, that is the living water from my throne. When faith flickers in you like a glowing coal, that is my spirit fanning the flame. You no longer need another to lift you, for my hand rests beneath your back. I am the resurrection and the life, the one who called Lazarus out of the tomb after 4 days of decay, and I am calling the dead parts of you faith, hope, love, courage. Come forth. Listen to my voice, for when I call, death cannot pretend to sleep. When I speak, chains cannot remain. When I arrive, darkness must withdraw. My child, do not doubt the power that is moving in the present moment. I am not a story of the past. I am the life of now. I do not dwell only in old pages. I dwell in your heart, writing a new chapter of faith. When you see doors closed, remember, I am the one who holds the key of David. What I open, no one can shut. What I shut, no one can open. You do not need to knock on every door, only to stand before the one I have chosen. What belongs to you will open not by force, but by breath. I will tilt the heavens if I must, to place you rightly. And when you stand upon that threshold, you will see that glory does not arrive with noise, but with peace. For true glory needs no spotlight. It shines of itself through my presence. I am Jehovah Rapha, the Lord who heals. I heal not only the body but the memory, the inner voice that once fractured your soul. I will restore a heart of flesh in place of a heart of stone. I will teach you to feel again, to trust again, to love again. When I touch you, the past loses its power to define. When I speak, pain loses its right to narrate. When I enter, the cold room within your heart becomes a temple of light, where prayer rises like incense, and my spirit stirs the curtains of your soul. My child, I am the one who sees through the third heaven, where my throne stands among radiant hosts and blazing creatures. Yet I am also the one who sits beside your bed each night when you have no strength to pray. I am both vast and near. I set the galaxies in place, and I brush your cheek with my fingertips. I arrange the stars in orbit, and I steady your heartbeat with a whisper. I am not distant, I am deep, so deep that the faintest call of your heart reaches me. Know this, I have assigned my angels to guard you. They surround you like walls of fire, halos of light. When you sleep, they keep watch. When you go, they clear the way. When you stumble, they lift you up. When you sing, they join in harmony. You may not see them, for faith does not depend on sight. Yet they are there, faithful in their hidden work. And I, watching you, smile, for I know you are safely held within the covering of eternity. I am the one who promised Job, when I have tested you, you will come forth as pure gold. You are in that furnace now, but not to be destroyed, to be refined. This fire is not of punishment, but of love. It burns away fear, pride, and deceit, until your soul is light enough to rise toward the radiance. When you feel the heat, remember I am closer than ever. No one tends a fire from afar, I stand within it with you. As I stood with the 3 friends of Daniel in the flames, their hair did not singe, their robes did not burn, for I was their shield, their shadow, their cool breeze in the midst of fire. And when you walk through the valley of the shadow of death, remember, I am with you. My rod and my staff comfort you. You will not be lost, for I am your shepherd. I know every path you take, every turn that frightens you, every cry unspoken. When you stray, I do not scold, I carry you home. When you break, I do not leave, I bind your wounds. When you fall, I do not shame, I lift you. When you are silent, I do not withdraw, I sit beside you only so you may know. My love does not come to instruct, but to remain. So, my child, be strong. Do not watch the wind. Do not fear the storm. For I am the one who commands the sea to be still. And today I say to your soul, peace. Be still. The wind will quiet. The waves will calm, not because you are strong enough, but because I am present. Where I am, order returns. Where I speak, chaos bows. Where I touch, everything transforms. And when you lift your head, you will see the light is not only in the sky, it is in your eyes, for I have kindled it there. Now, as the wind softens and the flame within you burns steady, I draw nearer not in storm or thunder, but in the gentle breath of peace. All that once trembled is now settling beneath the shadow of my wings. All that once frightened you melts away like morning mist before the sun. You have walked through the night, and now the dawn spreads across your soul like a blanket of light. I want you to pause here, breathe deep. Let your breath merge with mine, for where breath meets breath, heaven touches earth. I do not come to speak more, I come to be. My presence is no longer the gust that shakes the door, but the fragrance that fills the room, like the sacred resin in the temple of old. I move through every corner of your being into every memory, every ache, every hollow space. Every breath you draw is a blessing from me. Every heartbeat you feel is a rhythm I sustain. Nothing within you is accidental, everything is joining the song of grace. And within that song, I hear your voice soft, yet real. My beloved child, I bless you in every small thing. When you wake, I am in the morning light touching your pillow. When you step outside, I am in the cool breeze running through your hair. When you speak words of love, I am in your voice, making it gentle and true. When you fall silent, I am in that silence, turning it into a resting place for your soul. Blessing is not in what you possess. Blessing is when you know that I am with you in everything. Even when you have nothing left to hold, you still carry what is most precious, my presence. I want you to know that blessing does not come as a reward, but as breath. It is not something you receive after the journey, but something you live within the journey. When you sit quietly, I pour blessings upon you like soft rain. When you open your heart, blessings flow like sweet water from a hidden spring. They do not shout, nor hurry, nor seek witness. They work quietly, nourishing your soul from within. True blessing is not measured by what is in your hands, but by what rests in your heart. It is not counted by numbers, but by peace. It is not weighed by time, but by the life that moves within, my light. My child, I am scattering blessings upon things you cannot yet see. Upon the days to come, I have already gone before you. Upon doors not yet opened, I have already anointed the hinges with oil. Upon relationships growing dim, I am breathing new wind. Upon dreams you thought extinguished, I am rekindling the flame. Every step you take, whether in the crowded street or the quiet corner of solitude, lies within the light I have spread. No one can steal what I have placed. No power can dry the stream I have made to flow. And you, my child, are called to live within that stream, the stream of peace, of renewal, of eternity. I bless your mind with calm, your eyes to see goodness, your hands to touch without fear, your feet to walk without trembling. I bless your tears, for every tear has watered the soil where grace now grows. I bless even your silence, for in that silence I speak in the language of heaven. I bless even your old wounds, for through them my light shines. Nothing in you is wasted. Everything is part of the melody of resurrection. My child, let me lull your heart into peace. Like a mother soothing her child after a long day, I place my hand upon your brow and say, peace to you. This peace does not come because everything is resolved, but because you know the Father still holds it all. This peace does not depend on circumstance, but flows from my own heart. When you rest in me, the world loses its power to trouble you. When you place your heart in my hands, your worries dissolve like morning dew upon the grass. You do not need to understand, only to remain. Remain in this love, in this light, in this holy stillness filled with heaven's breath. From now on, I will teach you to live like a river, not holding, but flowing, not fixed, but yielded to the current of grace. I will teach you to speak less, feel more, and recognize that my presence is not a distant reward, but the very place where you stand. I will make your heart as wide as a valley so that my wind may pass through, and your soul as tender as a flower so that my light may easily seep in. And each morning, when your eyes open, you will know today, the Father is new again. Today, grace is fresh. Today, love is still full. Therefore, my beloved child, walk in blessing, not as one who owes gratitude, but as one who carries it, not to seek peace, but to bring it, not in fear, but in the freedom of forgiven love. Walk as one who knows every promise has been kept, every door opened, every chain broken. Live as one touched by heaven, gentle, humble, radiant from within. For I, your Father, am here forever in every breath you take, in every dream, in every sunrise and sunset. I bless you with the light of the new heavens, with the joy of fruitful earth, with the breath of creation's dawn. I bless you with the warmth of the flame I will not let die, with the softness of the water that never runs dry, with the stillness of the peace that cannot change. Live, my child, as though everything is blooming. Breathe, as though everything is being forgiven. Love, as though fear no longer exists. For I am here, and I will never leave you. Everything else I will take care of. You need only to remain and to be at peace. When I see you sitting quietly in the morning light, your shoulders no longer tense, your eyes soft again, I know you are learning the lesson heaven has long awaited, the art of resting in me. For years you have lived like one rowing against the waves, believing that only by striving harder could you stay afloat. But I did not create you to struggle. I created you to float upon the waters of faith. Now, my child, stop resisting. Stop hardening. Stop gripping so tight. Let yourself go in the current of grace. Let me be the water beneath you, the wind upon your face, the rhythm that keeps you from sinking. When you pause, I move. When you are still, I make a way. When you rest, all of heaven begins to move around you. I see every small breeze that touches your life, and none of them come to frighten you. They come to remind you that an unseen hand is guiding this rhythm of existence. Every falling leaf is a message I send. Every drifting cloud is a verse of scripture, rewritten by my breath. You think yourself small, but you live in a universe where everything knows your name. When I formed the heavens and the earth, I was already thinking of this very moment, this moment where you sit quietly, not needing to prove anything, only believing that you are loved. For I, the Creator, did not make you to live as one borrowing life. I made you to belong. My beloved child, I have placed within you the seed of eternity. Though the world may change, though your voice may seem small, that eternal part of you continues to sing in harmony with mine. That is why you have often felt out of place in the crowd, for your soul was not made to blend into noise. It was created to listen for the sound of heaven. When all grows still, when night falls, when only breath remains, that is when the deepest part of you remembers me. It calls, and I answer. It thirsts, and I pour out water. It seeks, and I appear. Do not fear the emptiness, my child. That emptiness is the doorway through which I enter. There are blessings I do not give by hand, but by time. There are promises I do not fulfill immediately. For if I did, your roots would not yet be strong enough to hold them. Young trees need roots, and roots grow only in the dark. You have been in that darkness, and now I see your roots have reached the living waters. Do not rush to bloom. Rest. When the season comes, the flowers will open effortlessly, and when they bloom, all creation will know that they are flowers of grace. Their fragrance comes not from color, but from faithfulness. You need not shine like a torch, only release the fragrance of the earth after rain. I am pouring new oil upon you, not the oil to run, but the oil to dwell. This oil will warm your heart, brighten your eyes, and soften your voice. It will cause you to respond with love rather than react with fear. It will make you unafraid of darkness, for you know you carry the lamp. It will allow you to stand still, yet remain strong, to be silent, yet still resound. I have not given you the strength of thunder, but the endurance of a river. Thunder startles, but the river nourishes the land. You are called not to intimidate, but to nurture, and in that nurturing, blessing flows. I know there are things you still do not understand, but you do not need to understand everything to live in peace. Understanding comes from the mind, peace comes from me. I do not come to explain, I come to be present. You do not need to grasp the plan, only to hold my hand. Sometimes you will walk through mist, seeing only one step ahead, but that is enough. For I ask only one step with me at a time, and with each step of faith, the next light appears. Light is not switched on all at once. It unfolds in rhythm with faith, and every time you believe, you open another layer of heaven. My child, I see the way you love others, even when it is not returned. I see you stay silent when misunderstood, gentle when offended. I see you choose peace over argument, softness over hardness. Each time you choose this, the angels record it. No drop of patience is forgotten, no act of kindness is lost, for you are living as a child of light. And true light does not need a lamp, it only needs to be. When you stand in your place, the light shines of itself. Do not worry if no one sees, I see. Do not fear if no one acknowledges, I remember. I will multiply what you thought was lost. Every tear shed in silence I will turn into radiant joy. Every closed door I will unlock with the key of grace. Every season you thought was over I will cause to bloom in new form. You will see the things you thought had died were never gone. They were preserved for the appointed time. For in my kingdom, there is no loss, only transformation. Everything is changed to become more glorious. I bless your every step, whether on dry ground or steep paths. Every place your feet touch will become a land of life. I will send rain wherever you go. Others will receive blessings simply by your presence, not because you are perfect, but because you carry heaven's air. Where you walk, peace will follow. Where you speak, gentle winds will stir. Where you touch, wounds will soften. I did not call you to make noise, I called you to sow. And every seed you plant in love will grow into a tree of shelter for travelers. When you are weary, return to my heart. When you are joyful, sing within my heart. When you are sad, weep within my heart. When you cannot speak, be still, I will understand. For I do not listen with ears, but with heart. I need no polished words, only true ones. I do not demand ritual, I desire presence. When you sit, I am there. When you walk, I walk beside you. When you sleep, I watch over you. When you wake, I smile. You are never beyond my sight. Whether you rise to the heavens or sink to the depths, whether you run fast or stand still, I surround you as breath surrounds life. From this day on, let peace be the king of your heart. Let gentleness be your garment, truth your staff, and love your breath. Walk softly through life, not out of fear of error, but because you know you are treading on holy ground. Speak softly, for your words carry creative power. Look with love, for your eyes reflect heaven's gaze. Do not let the world wear down your heart. Let my love refine it until it becomes clear. For only the pure in heart see me in all things. This is the season of gentle breakthroughs, not loud, not violent, but sure and deep. I am opening quiet doors, shaping hidden paths, weaving miracles in the smallest details. You will not hear thunder, only see flowers bloom. You will not see walls collapse, only paths unfold. You will not hear the roar of triumph, only the breath of peace. Yet this is the truest victory, victory in stillness, in gentleness, in softness, in light. I look into your heart now and see a garden reviving. The dry branches are budding again. The barren ground is moist with the dew of faithfulness. You once thought nothing could grow where you had been wounded, where you had lost, where you had fallen. But it is there, at that very end, that I begin again. I am the one who makes deserts bloom and lonely plains become resting places. And today, I am doing that within you. Remember my promise, behold, I make all things new. Revelation 2:1-5. Nothing that seemed lost has been forgotten. It is being reborn in a new form. The dreams you thought had faded are being breathed upon. The promises you kept hidden are awakening. You need do nothing but believe. For once my word is spoken, it never returns void. It carries life, direction, and the breath of heaven, and now, that very breath is touching you, my beloved child. I know you have walked through long days without light. There were times you wondered why endurance had to last so long. Times you whispered, "Father, I have no more strength." Yet in those weakest moments, I was strong for you. When you fell, my angels lifted you. When you were silent, my word still spoke. You were never abandoned, only hidden in my hands, so your roots could grow deeper, your faith become steadier, and your soul learn to love not by sight, but by trust. I have seen every silent tear you cried when no one was near. They never fell to the ground, they fell into my heart. I have kept them as sacred pearls, and I will turn them into blessings for lives you have yet to touch. Every sorrow you endured will become oil to anoint others in comfort. Every scar you bear will become the window through which light shines. Do not be ashamed of your scars. They are proof that you have been healed. Look again. My child, the people who left, the doors that closed, the paths that shifted, all of it rests in my hand. When I move you away from something, it is not loss, it is clearing the way. Some are sent for a season, some places only for a journey, and some endings are simply preludes. Be steadfast, for I never write half a story. I am the God of new beginnings. Every dawn begins in darkness, every song of light is born in silence. I do not fear the quiet, for it is there I sow heaven's rhythm. When you cannot hear, cannot feel, cannot find your way, that is when I am working most powerfully. I do not need noise to act, I need faith to move. The quieter you are, the more room I have, the more you release, the freer my hands to shape. My angels are still all around you, not with blazing wings, but in the forms of love, a friend who appears in time, a gentle word in a weary day, a song that plays at the perfect moment. These are my messengers. Angels do not only fly in the sky, they walk among men, softly reminding you that you are surrounded by my care. You have never been alone, you only forgot to look. I have never left the room where you wept. I was there, in the corner you could not see, waiting for you to stop striving. I am not afraid of your tears, for they carry what you cannot yet say. I do not turn from your fear, for I have already stepped into its center. When you tremble, I still hold your hand. When you lose your way, I still lead. When you are silent, I still speak, not through sound, but through peace. Let me rebuild everything in my way. When I prune, it is to prepare the soil for new growth. When I slow you down, it is to make you steady. When I am silent, it is because I am writing behind the veil, like a potter shaping clay. I am forming you anew. Each time you soften, I create a new form. Each time you rest, I carve the path of grace. Do not fear the changing shape of your soul, it is simply becoming the one I have always seen. I am rebuilding your house from within, not of bricks, but of spirit. Its foundation is faith, its walls trust, its roof peace, and its lamp the flame of my spirit. When that house stands, no storm can shake it. Though the world changes, it remains firm. Those who see it will know here dwells the Father. Do not compare yourself to others. Every soul has its rhythm, every journey its season. You are not slow, you are walking to heaven's tempo. Others may arrive first, but you are on the exact path I set. When you walk, look up, I am before you. When you rest, look within, I am inside. When you fear, look back, I am behind, shielding you. There is no direction you can turn where I am not. Blessing now rests upon the smallest of things in your quiet smile. in your act of forgiveness, in the way you love without a word. Blessing is not found only in outcomes, but in each breath that moves in love's rhythm. When you love in silence, heaven brightens. When you choose gentleness, darkness loses. When you believe, my heart rejoices. Every act of love is rewriting the history of your soul stroke by stroke, breath by breath. I grant your eyes the grace to see as I see, not just appearance, but essence. When you look at others, see with my light. When you look at yourself, see with my mercy. I do not see through fault, I see through the blood of my covenant. In that light, you are no longer your mistakes, you are mine. You are washed, restored, called by your true name. The voice of fear is gone, only the voice of love remains. Let your heart become like gentle water. Do not rush. Do not resist. Let me lead you through every bend in the river. When I say go, move. When I say rest, be still. When I say trust, smile. I guide you by peace. I keep you by grace. There is no need to hurry toward a destination, for I am the destination. You do not need to become someone else to be loved. I do not love you because you are perfect. I love you so that you may be perfected. My love does not wait for change, it creates it. Let it soften what is hardened, warm what has grown cold, heal what has been torn. You do not need to fix yourself, you need only let me work. And when you stand beneath the dawn of a new day, you will see what I do is quiet, but true. It comes in silence, grows in patience, and blossoms in peace. You will realize that every waiting was worth it. Every tear was exchanged for joy. Every breaking was the beginning of rebuilding. Hold my hand not in fear, but in love. Walk lightly, knowing you are held. Let peace become your breath, love your language, and faith your path. For I am here so near, so real as light resting upon your face. My beloved child, as you begin to walk forward in the light of a new day, know that nothing you have passed through was wasted. Not a single tear fell without meaning. Not a single long night was forgotten. Everything you have endured has become a thread in the mysterious tapestry I am weaving. And now, the pattern begins to reveal itself. Do you see it? The light has changed. It no longer burns with the harsh glare of striving or proof. It glows with the gentle radiance of being loved. In that light, you no longer need to be strong, only to be true. For truth is strength, and I, who am truth, live within you. Do not fear when you no longer feel like the person you once were. Renewal can bewilder the soul, for freedom feels strange at first. You have lived so long in the cage of fear that even light can make you blink. But I am here, tenderly leading you out. One step at a time. You do not need to run, just walk. Let me lead. You will discover that true freedom is not doing all that you wish, but being free from all that used to control you. When you know you belong to me, nothing else can bind you. I am softening your mind, reshaping how you see yourself. The world has told you that you must achieve, excel, and be seen. But in my kingdom, all things begin with rest. Faith is not the first action, it is the fruit of stillness. When you are still, you believe. When you believe, you see. When you see, you become like me. For you were made to reflect, not to shine by your own effort. Light does not come from striving, it comes from nearness. Stay close. You do not need to know what is coming next. Those who love me are not guided by maps, but by my voice. I will speak when it is time. And when I am silent, That silence itself is an invitation to trust. I do not lead by reason, but by peace. When your heart is at peace, you are in the right place. When it is in turmoil, you have drifted, for peace is the compass of heaven. If you lose your direction, do not calculate return to peace. I will be there, waiting. There will be moments when I cause you to pause, not because you are wrong, but because you need to remember that the destination is not outer glory, but inner union. When your spirit moves in rhythm with mine, everything falls into place. When you walk without needing to prove, that is the sign you have matured. When you love without expecting return, that is when you flow in heaven's current. When you rest without needing reason, that is when I dwell deeply within your soul. I want you to begin seeing blessing in the simplest things: a cool glass of water, a gentle breeze, a stranger's smile. These are my words made visible. I speak through simplicity because I want you to remember heaven is not far. It begins in awareness. Each time you become aware, heaven expands a little more within you. You are not journeying toward heaven. Heaven is growing inside you. And one day you will realize you were never a traveler searching for home. You are the home I chose to dwell in. As you look back, you will see that every season had meaning. The dry seasons taught you to pray in silence. The rainy seasons taught you to stand firm in wind. The winters taught you to believe when sight failed. And now, the spiritual spring draws near. Do not fear change, for I am the season that never changes. When I dwell in you, every season becomes good. None are lost. They simply change color. I am teaching you to hear my voice more clearly, not with ears, but with heart. My voice does not come through noise, but through quiet. You will begin to notice me in the smallest pauses, in the silence between two sentences, in the warmth of a glance, in the rhythm of your breath when you sit alone. When you learn to listen this way, you will never feel lost again, for my voice never leaves. It does not shout, it whispers, like wind through trees. You only need to open your heart, and it will find you. I am also teaching you to wait. Waiting is not wasting time. It is being shaped into heaven's rhythm. When you wait in trust, you are partnering with me. When you wait in peace, you allow me to work on your behalf. Nothing in heaven hurries. Everything is perfectly timed. The moon does not worry about rising, nor the flower about blooming. Neither should you worry about arriving. For I am time itself, and I live within you. Slow down, not out of fear of missing, but because you know that nothing destined for you can be lost. Let every day become a holy ceremony. When you eat, when you drink, when you work, when you rest, each can become prayer if you do it with awareness of my presence. Do not look for me in distant heights. I am in the smallest things, in the scent of bread, in the sound of rain, in the glow of evening light, in the warmth of your hand upon your heart. Everything holds me. If only you see, when I say go, it is never a push, it is a promise. I do not send you into the unknown. I send you into what I have already prepared. You do not need to carve your path. I have gone before. At times the way may narrow, but do not fear. The narrow path is not to confine you, but to bring you straight to me. The wide road distracts, the narrow one keeps you close. And as you walk, each step will be wonder, for you are not walking on earth, but upon my word. If at times you feel lonely, remember that loneliness is not the absence of people, but an invitation to deeper communion with me. No one knows you as I do. No one listens as I do. No one loves you as completely as I do. When others fall silent, I still speak. When others leave, I remain. When others forget, I remember. I do not remember your faults, I remember you. I do not keep record of debts, I keep record of your name. And every time you call, heaven bends low to listen. Then, my beloved, you will discover that love is no longer duty, but nature. For when you are truly in me, love becomes as natural as breath. You do not try to love, you simply live. Love flows through you as water through a river, unforced, unboastful, unexhausted. It simply is. And that is the surest sign that I live in you. My beloved child, I am making your soul a resting place for many. People will come to you not because you have the answers, but because you carry peace. They will not ask where you have learned. They will ask how you remain so calm. And you will not preach, you will smile. For in that smile, they will feel me. Light does not need introduction, it only needs to appear. You will be that light, quiet yet powerful, gentle yet unshakable, still yet far-reaching. I want you to know this: everything happening within you is not an ending, but a birth. You are being born again, not of flesh, but of spirit. The old is falling like leaves, and the new is rising from within. Let the process unfold without fear. Do not cling to what I am removing, for your hands can only receive when they are open. You will see when you let go. I give when you hold tight. You lose, for I cannot fill a cup that is already full, but I can make new a cup that is empty. And if one day you find yourself at a crossroads, unsure which way to turn, remember I am the way. You do not need to find the path, you only need to find me. Where I am, you are already in the right place. When you walk with me, every place becomes holy. When you hear my voice, everything becomes clear. For I am the light of the world, and that light now lives within you. I see you learning to walk in the gentleness of grace. The steps that once felt heavy with fear are now as soft as wind upon water. You no longer need to prove your worth, for true worth never asks to be proven. It was inscribed long before you were born, upon the palm of my hand, where time cannot erase. Everything you are learning to be still, to trust, to love is not new. It is something your soul once knew in eternity. And I am merely helping you remember, for your soul has always been in me. And now it is returning. I know there are moments when your heart feels low, when the winds of this life still blow against you, when the shadows of the past whisper of things unfinished. But do not let those voices pull you back. The voice of fear always calls from behind, but mine always comes from ahead. Turn your heart toward the light, even if only a faint glimmer, for I am there. When you look toward me, everything else will fade, and you will realize you are not climbing the mountain, I am lifting you. Every burdened step becomes light, not because you have grown stronger, but because you have yielded it all to me. You still think there is something you must do to draw nearer. But no, my child, you cannot come closer to me through effort, only through awareness. I have been there all along, in your breath, in your heartbeat, in the silence at the close of your day. I do not require great deeds. I invite you to live truthfully in the small ones. For when you do small things with love, you are touching the greatness of heaven. The doors of my kingdom do not open by might, but by meekness, and the humble will see me sooner than those who chase power. I want you to begin seeing the world through heaven's eyes. When others hurt you, remember they are only revealing their own pain. When someone forgets you, remember, I never have. When no one understands you, know that I understand completely. My understanding needs no words, only heart. And because I understand you, I am never in haste. I wait. I am patient. I am merciful until you are soft enough to feel the warmth of love once more. It is not that I am far, It is that you are being shaped to see how near I have always been. At times you ask me, Father, why must I walk this road? I smile. Because I know you are exactly where you need to be. Every road I lead you through is measured by kindness, not by distance. There are smooth paths for your rest, rough paths for your strength, winding paths for your trust, and quiet paths for your listening. No road is wasted, and no stretch is meaningless. Every step bears my mark, and every footprint you leave rests in the palm of my hand. You are now living in what I call the season of silent restoration. No trumpets, no fireworks, no recognition, yet heaven is leaning closer to earth than ever before. The things once closed are opening not by force, but by breath. Others may not see a difference, but within you, a new river is flowing. It flows quietly, deeply, down to the bedrock of your soul, washing away residue, cleansing, renewing, filling. This is how I heal, not with loud miracles, but with quiet presence. I am placing a new robe upon you, not a robe of work, but of peace. It is woven with threads of trust, stitched with gratitude, and lined with the breath of love. When you wear it, you will no longer feel cold beneath the gaze of others, nor burn beneath their judgments. You will walk lightly, knowing you are covered. This robe not only shields, it carries the fragrance of heaven, and those who come near will feel warmth without knowing why. They will not see me with their eyes, but they will perceive me through you. And when you begin to speak, let your words carry the scent of grace. Do not speak to convince, speak to soothe. Do not speak to win, speak to heal. Let your words be like the wind, gentle enough to touch, soft enough to comfort, filled with my breath. The world already has enough noise. You are called to be the voice of peace. For when you speak with my tone, the souls of others will find rest without knowing why. My child, you are becoming a bearer of oil. That oil is not merely favor, it is the sign of holiness. When you touch something, it softens. When you pray for someone, their heart finds calm. When you enter a room, the atmosphere shifts, not because you are powerful, but because I am in you. The world will see light in your eyes, hear heaven's tone in your voice, and feel the Father's warmth in every deed you do. You do not need to try to do sacred things. You need only let me live within each simple act. What you have walked through was not to harden you, but to deepen you. That depth is the place where I plant the seed of influence. You do not need a high place to shine. You need only a deep place to flow. True light does not blaze from the peak, but from within. It is not glaring, it is warm. And I am making you that source of warmth, quiet, steady, and unfailing. A day will come when you look back and see how everything aligns. The people you met, the losses you carried, the waiting, the long nights, all of it threads together as a chain of grace. You will understand why I led you that way, why I stopped you here, why I let some things tarry. When you understand, you will not blame, you will not regret, you will bow and say, all that the Father does is good. Know this true blessing is not being spared from trial, but having the Father within the trial. It is not being kept from the storm, but knowing the one who commands the wind. When you realize this, fear will lose its claim, for perfect love drives out fear. From now on, let your heart become a temple of gratitude. Each morning, let your first words be, thank you, Father. Each night, let your last whisper be, I belong to you. That gratitude will be the key that opens every door. It will turn sorrow into beauty, burdens into songs, and tears into a sweet stream. When you give thanks, you move in step with heaven. For gratitude is my language. Do not fear the future. The future is not an empty space. It is the place where I stand waiting. I have gone before you, prepared the way, and scattered blessings along the path. There is no step you will take where I am not. When you are weak, I lift you. When you are lost, I call you. When you fall, I uphold you. And when you do not know what to do, simply be still and know that I am God. Let your heart become the meeting ground of earth and heaven, where the soul touches eternity without leaving the present. When you live this way, every moment becomes holy. Each embrace, each smile, each glance becomes an act of heaven. You will not need to seek me far away, for I am the space you are breathing. And when you recognize this, you will know that every true miracle begins with presence. You are walking in the new light of the day. I have ordained a day not measured by clocks but by the rhythm of heaven. Everything around you is changing, not to frighten you, but to let you be reborn. What once confused you will grow clear, like the water once the wind has stilled. Do you see, I have always been there, whispering to your soul since the dawn of beginnings. And now, as you rest, my voice grows clear, not the voice of demand, but the voice of love, a love that never vanishes, only waits to be recognized. Understand, this faith is not straining to believe, it is living aware that you never fall from my hands. Each time you breathe, you live in grace. Each time you love, you reflect the Father. Each time you forgive, you open a gate of heaven. And each time you choose peace, you make the heavens tremble. For in all small things I have hidden the greatness of heaven. I do not require dazzling victories to be glorified. I am glorified when a soul chooses gentleness in a noisy world. You have learned what the wisest still seek, to rest in love and to love in rest. You passed through storms yet did not break, through nights yet did not go dark, through pain yet remained tender. That very tenderness is the sign that you have matured in my spirit. The world imagines strength as a roar, but in heaven, strength is the stillness of a soul who knows it is loved. You have moved from fear to trust, from trust to knowing, and from knowing to abiding. Abide in me, this is the word I whisper to those I have chosen. And now you are there, in me, not by merit, but by love. When you sit in the quiet of afternoon and hear the gentle wind stir the leaves, know that it is I breathing the cadence of blessing around you. Every brush of wind upon your cheek is a benediction. Every glint of light across your hair is a kiss from the Father. No moment is empty. Everything is steeped in my breath. You need only open your heart to receive. Life is no longer something to achieve, but the living water in which you are immersed. Grace is not a prize, it is the air you are breathing. Do not be afraid when your heart grows so quiet that it feels as if there is no goal left to chase. That is not lostness, it is your touch upon my center, where every craving comes to rest, where you do not need to run or search, only to be. There you will discover that the most precious thing is not gaining anything, but not losing presence. For when you are wholly present, I act in fullness. Strength no longer flows from doing, but from abiding. And in that abiding, all things will bear fruit. I'm making your soul like a garden of dawn where light is always new and the birds never tire of singing. Each morning, see the world with a child's eyes, astonished, grateful, and glad in simplicity. I will show you that the miracle is not far away but held in the smallest things, in the way a flower opens, in the way the breeze shivers, in the way you are still here living, loving, and being loved. The miracle is not overcoming something great, but keeping a tender heart in a hardened world. And you are living that very miracle. There are people who will come to you in this season, not to ask, but to rest. They will find peace in your gaze, warmth in your voice, and hear my voice in the spaces where you are silent. You do not need to teach, you need to be present, for the presence you carry is where I shine. When you speak, they will hear the Father. When you embrace, they will touch heaven. When you grow quiet, they will find themselves again. You will be a bridge between the human and the holy, not by enchantment, but by love. I am placing within you the lamp of covenant, a light that never goes out. It will not flare like outer fire, but glow like embers at the core. It will let you see even in the night, and only you, a child of light, will know it is the truest light. It will not set you apart from people. It will bring you nearer. I do not give you light to make you aloof, but to make you a living bridge of love. Let that light shine through everything you do. When you care for someone, when you listen, when you do the smallest task, do it as serving me. For in truth, you serve me in everyone. Every face bears the Father's imprint. When you see them, you see me in 1,000 forms. And when you love them, you love me. This is how heaven spreads, not by religion, but by kindness, not by proclamations, but by a gentle gaze. Now, as the new season opens, step lightly, carry no heavy memories, and do not fear what has not yet arrived. Carry only love. Love is the only luggage that never grows old. With love, you will never lose your way. For love is the compass, the map, the path. It will bring you to the right place, the right people, the right time. And when you arrive, everything will fit, as if heaven and earth had waited for that very moment. If one day you feel weary, simply return here to the place where you and I sat together amid the soft wind and the thin light and the words beyond words. There I will still be waiting, not angry, not reproachful, not demanding, only waiting, with a heart like the sea, with eyes like the sky, with breath like a river that never ceases to flow. For I am not only your beginning, I am your ending, your middle, your all. And now that you understand, I lay my hand upon your head, not to assign commands, but to bless, blessing upon your heart to be soft as water, upon your spirit to shine like dawn, upon your days to flow gently in the current of grace, blessing upon the places you pass that they may be healed, blessing upon the people you touch that they may come alive, blessing upon you, the one who has learned to love as the Father loves. For this world will be changed, not by the spectacles I perform, but by the love I plant within you. Go. Do not hurry. Breathe. Do not worry. Live. Do not fear. For I am here in the wind, in the light, in your heart, in all things. This season is no longer a season of waiting. It is a season of bloom. Every promise has reached its hour. Every door stands open. Every wound has become a place where light pours through. And in this quiet breath, I speak once more, you are ready. May the Lord's word continually remind you to live each day in His faith and love. Please subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss the sacred and meaningful messages He longs to share. May God bless you. Amen.